The 2009 Eisenhower Eagles opened the season at home, in the rain, against Grosse Pointe North. Last year, Ike fans saw an injury-riddled Eagle team drop a close one to the Norsemen. This year, however, the Eagles would march to the beat of a different drummer. Coach Bob Lancey would install a new veer offense. The responsibility of making it work would rest squarely on the shoulders of number 21 Tony Zarafa. Defensive coordinator Chris Smith, recognized as one of the best defensive coordinators in the state, makes sure the 2009 Ike defense would be ready. The Eagles started the season off with a bang as Phil Manolo took the opening kickoff and rambled 75 yards for the touchdown. The extra point was good and Ike led it 7-0. Senior cornerback number 4 Kevin Madaus played a solid corner for the Eagles all year long. His play here stops a first quarter Norseman drive. After a Grosse Pointe touchdown, Eisenhower's number 3 Jack Sauber brings the momentum back to the Eagles side with this kick return. Then kicker Mason Krasinski made it 10-6 with this 32-yard field goal. Ike's defensive unit turned up the heat on the Norseman offense. The Eagle defense kept up the pace even in the second quarter as well. Eagle super sophomore Yusuf Budajar returns this punt 51 yards to the Grosse Pointe North 15. Phil Manolo turns the corner and almost scores on this play. Tony Zarafa would punch it in, giving Ike a 17-6 lead. Nick DiTomaso started the season off wearing number 47. Here he makes a fine open field tackle for a loss. And this run by Jack Sauber would lead to a 28-yard field goal by Mason Krasinski, and Ike led it 20-6. This aggressive tackle by Nick DiTomaso causes a fumble. The ball is picked up by Jack Sauber, who takes it all the way to the end zone for the score. With Ike leading 27-6, Mike Conley gets good blocking and scampers 26 yards for another Eagle first down. Then Jack Sauber would make a nice move and sprint to the end zone for his second touchdown of the game, making it 33-6 Eisenhower. Sauber wasn't through in this one, however. He picks this pass off and gets a nice return to the Grosse Pointe North 38. And with that, Ike revenges its loss last year, beating the Grosse Pointe Norsemen 33-6. Bob Lancey and his 1-0 Eisenhower Eagles traveled to Stevenson to take on the top-ranked Titans. Ike would need a superior effort to come away with a victory in this one. Despite these nice defensive plays, Stevenson would score on its opening possession to lead it 7-0. Jack Sauber gained 17 yards in this play, but Ike's offense is a little sluggish early in the game. Meanwhile, Ike's defense puts the clamps on the Titan running game. In the second quarter, Tony Zarafa gets a first down on this nice run. An 18-yard run by number 3, Jack Sauber, sets up a 32-yard field goal by Mason Krasinski. However, Ike trailed 14-3. Number 84, Yusuf Budajar, tries to spark his team with his 28-yard second-half kickoff return. The Eagle offense started to gel in the second half. Phil Manolo pounds the ball in from the 3-yard line, and the Eagles trailed it 21-10. The Eagles would get the ball back, and Phil Manolo would score his second straight touchdown of the game on this 62-yard pass play. The two-point conversion was good, and Ike trailed 28-18 with 1:19 left to go. Tony Zarafa strips the ball from the Stevenson runner, and Ike has new life. The Eagles turn to the old hook and ladder play, and it works to perfection here. Joe Worth's touchdown reception with 29 seconds left to play pulled the Eagles to within 3. Eisenhower, however, would run out of time in this one. The final score, Stevenson 28, Eisenhower 25. Next up on the Eisenhower Eagles schedule were the Chippewa Valley Big Red. Brian Demere's open field tackle stops the Big Red on their opening drive. After a scoreless first quarter, Ike gets on the board first with a 35-yard field goal by Mason Krasinski. Nick DiTomaso would lead Eisenhower in tackles all year. This is why. Mike Conley was a standout on punt coverage all year long. The Eagles enter Chippewa Valley territory but are unable to score. Kevin Madaus picks off this pass and returns it to the Big Red 37, but to no avail. The score at halftime, Eisenhower 3, Chippewa Valley nothing. In the second half, Ike gets a break as Mike Connolly recovers this fumble at the Big Red 32. Mason Krasinski's second field goal of the game makes it 6-0 Eisenhower. This one booted from 30 yards out. Joe Worth strips the ball and recovers it, but it wouldn't lead to any Eisenhower points. This interception by number 47, Nick DiTomaso, would lead to points. Tony Zarafa would take it in from 4 yards out. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 13-0. The Big Red would score 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, take a 14-13 lead. With time running out, Ike's offense couldn't get another score. The final, Chippewa Valley 14, Eisenhower 13. After losing their last 2 ball games by a total of 4 points, a really mad Eisenhower team showed up at Stallion Stadium in Sterling Heights, and they were in no mood to play with horses. Ike's defense was in a foul mood, and the Stallions were the unfortunate victims. Number 41, Bradford Hinkson, gets a sack here, stopping the Stallion drive. In the second quarter, Tony Zarafa hits Yusuf Budajar to ignite Ike's offense. Ike then started to pound it down the Stallions' throats. Tony Zarafa gets good blocking, goes around the right side and scores the game's first touchdown. Vito Balsamo establishes the fullback for Eisenhower. Here's a nice catch and run by Jack Sauber. Ike's defense continued to stymie the Stallion offense as Kevin Madaus makes the big play here. Phil Manolo's interception would lead to a 20-yard field goal by Mason Krasinski. The kick was true, and Ike led it 10-0. Number 81, Joe Worth, forces this poor pass, and Jack Sauber makes a great play to catch the football for an Ike interception. Tony Zarafa hits Jack Sauber in the end zone. The extra point was good, and Ike would lead 17-0. In the third quarter, Tony Zarafa would hit number 84, Yusuf Budajar, for a 71-yard touchdown play. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 24-0. Safety Jack Sauber reads this play perfectly and intercepts the pass. Going in for the touchdown, the extra point was good, and Ike led it 31-0. Sauber again makes another superb defensive play from his safety spot. Nick DiTomaso ends the third quarter with this fine open field tackle. And number 60, Andrew Vendetti, gets a sack to set the tone in the fourth. Phil Manolo makes his second pick of the day, and it's 1st and 10 Eisenhower. The Eagle offense plays possession football as Mike Switkowski makes a nice grab here. Then Vito Balsamo's best run of the season right here. Eisenhower's Yusuf Budajar scores Eisenhower's final touchdown of the game, a 92-yard kickoff return. Mason Krasinski's extra point was good, and the final score, Eisenhower 38, Sterling Heights 14. The Eisenhower Eagles return home for Game 5 to face the Henry Ford II Falcons. The Eagles at 2-2 could not afford a slip-up if they wanted to make the state playoffs. Joe Worth, now wearing number 76, scoops up this fumble and chugs to the Falcon 26. Jack Sauber goes around the right side and gets down to the Falcon 4. Vito Balsamo scores the game's first touchdown, and the girls are dancing. Mike Conley sprints to the Falcon 2, making it 1st and goal Eisenhower. Vito Balsamo would score his second touchdown of the game. The extra point was good. Ike led it 14-0, and the girls were dancing. Number 84, Yusuf Budajar, makes another one of his patented punt returns. In the second quarter, Jack Sauber would take a perfect pitch from Tony Zarafa, gets key blocks from Mike Conley and Mike Switkowski, and goes 33 yards for the touchdown. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 20-0. Forced to pass, the Falcon quarterback rolls out and fires a long one, but Ike's Brandon Bartnick is there to break it up. Ike keeps rolling on offense as Zarafa hits Budajar for 40 yards. Then Tony would do the rest and scamper into the end zone for the touchdown, making it 27-0 Eisenhower. Big Joe Worth uses his size on this play. Then Andrew Vendetti leads the charge and gets a sack on this one. The score at halftime, Ike 27, 4-0. In the third quarter, hard running by Mike Conley makes it 1st and goal Eisenhower. That run would set up this touchdown pass to Vito Balsamo, his third TD of the game. In the fourth quarter, Brandon Bartnick takes it on the old quarterback keeper and makes it 1st and goal Eisenhower. Bartnick would then show the poise of a veteran quarterback, finding Vito Balsamo in the flat for Vito's fourth touchdown of the game. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 41-0. Martinick and Troy Zilli team up for a first down on this play to keep possession in the Eisenhower hands. The final score, Ike 41, Ford 7. The Eagles hosted L'Anse Creuse North for homecoming. At 3-2, Ike was still in a must-win situation. Hopefully, with a player on the homecoming court, it would bring Ike good luck. Phil Manolo welcomes the Crusaders with this hit. Then Nick DiTomaso stops L'Anse Creuse North cold on this fourth down play. L'Anse Creuse North would score, but Kevin Madaus and Nick DiTomaso blocked the extra point. Eisenhower could manage little success on offense in the first half, except for these few plays. L'Anse Creuse North led at halftime 6-0. Ike came out of the locker room in the second half firing, but could not score. Eisenhower's defense was also fired up in the second half. This botched snap looked like a safety, but was ruled down at the 2. Tony Zarafa would take it in for the Ike touchdown. The extra point was good, and Eisenhower led 7-6. Ike's aggressive defense again would halt a Crusader drive. With Ike at the L'Anse Creuse North 17, Tony Zarafa finds a big hole provided by his offensive line and takes it to the 1.5. Then Tony would take it in for the touchdown. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 14-6. Youssef Boudijar makes a nice adjustment to the football and scores on this 64-yard reception. Up 21-6, the Eagles are looking for more points. Vito Balsamo takes this screen pass to the Crusader 20. After a penalty, the Eagles need to make up some yardage to get back in the red zone. Mike Conley would run 22 yards for the final Eagles score. With Ike leading 28-6, number 35, Chris Pokornicki, keeps up the defensive pressure. Number 52, Nick Carducci, puts the finishing touches on this 2009 homecoming game. The final score, Eisenhower 28, L'Anse Creuse North 6. The Eagles traveled to Romeo to take on the Bulldogs in Mud Bowl 2009. Ike needs to win 2 out of their next 3 games to make the playoffs. Romeo's offensive plays consist of Ben Brown right, Ben Brown left, and Ben Brown up the middle. With the passing game ineffective due to the field conditions, Ike went by way of the ground as well. Vito Balsamo busts through the line for a big first down. Ike's drive stalled, and Mason Krasinski came on and kicked this field goal, giving Eisenhower a 3-0 lead. In the second quarter, Brad Hinkson shows how you have to tackle Romeo's Ben Brown. Eisenhower's Tony Zarafa starts to engineer another drive, but the drive would stall because of a fumble. Ben Brown finally breaks through the Eisenhower line, but Phil Manolo saves the day by tackling Brown short of the end zone. On 4th and 1 from the 5, Nick DiTomaso causes this fumble and stops the Romeo scoring threat. Vito Balsamo gets Eisenhower out of the hole with this run. Then Jack Sauber gets more yardage on this play, but the Eagles were forced to punt. Brad Hinkson again makes the tackle on Brown. Then Joe Worth would end the first half with this play. Eisenhower led at halftime 3-0. In the third quarter, Ike almost gets a break. This pass goes through the hands of the Romeo receiver and right into the hands of Tony Zarafa, but the ball is too slippery to hold on to, and it falls to the ground. Offensively, Ike looked for the same success they had in the first half. This pass sails just out of the reach of Phil Manolo. Romeo would score a touchdown and kick a field goal, and Ike let this one slide away, 10-3. Game 8 found the Eisenhower Eagles in a must-win situation against top-ranked Dakota. The Eagles were sky high for this one. It would be their final home game of 2009. The Eagles were unable to move the football on their opening drive and were forced to punt. Joe Worth's diving tackle stops Dakota's opening drive. Dak Sauber gets good blocking around the left side and turns this into a 41-yard gain. Sauber's play would result in this 25-yard field goal by Mason Krasinski, and Eisenhower led 3-0. With it 4th and an inch at the Eagle 33, Eisenhower's defense held. Here it is again. After the Cougars miss a field goal, Mike Conley outruns everyone to the end zone for an 80-yard touchdown run. The extra point was good and Ike led 10-0. Eisenhower's defense continued to fly to the football. Joe Worth strips the football, stopping another Dakota drive. Yusef Budajar surprises the Dakota defense with this end-around play. The half would end with Ike leading 10-0. Ike continued the hitting intensity to begin the second half. This miscue on the Dakota handoff resulted in 6 for Eisenhower's Brad Hinkson, who scoops up the football and goes 34 yards for the TD. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 17-0. Colin Bellick partially blocks this punt, and the Eagles have good field position once again. Tony Zarafa sachets through the line for a 44-yard gain. Here's another look. Vito Balsamo takes this tip pass to the Dakota 1. Then it would be Tony Zarafa to take it in for the touchdown, and Ike led it 24-0. Jack Sauber makes a super interception to kill a fourth quarter Cougar drive. Dakota would eventually score. They try this onside kick, and Brandon Bartnick is there and makes his biggest play of the year. Ike needs a crucial first down, and they get it. And the Eisenhower Eagles have upset the Dakota Cougars 24-8. Eisenhower needed one more victory to clinch a playoff berth for the 11th straight year. They wasted little time in getting it. Mike Conley blasts through a huge hole for the game's first score. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 7-0. Ike's D stops the first Anchor Bay drive, which led to this blocked punt by Jack Sauber. Tony Zarafa sidesteps a would-be tackler and scores the game's second touchdown. Leading 14-0, Ike goes for more. Mike Switkowski lays out for this pass and is rewarded with a touchdown catch for his effort. The extra point was good, and Ike led 21-0. Number 67, Mark DeMera, records a sack on this play. On their next drive, the Eisenhower Eagles decide to show off their air attack. Tony Zarafa takes it into the end zone for an Eagle touchdown. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 28-0. In the second quarter, Ike's Justin Long makes an outstanding reception and goes 31 yards for an Eagle first down. It's 1st and goal, Eisenhower. And while no one was looking, Jack Sauber waltzes into the end zone. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 35-0. Chris Bednarski prevents a long return with this open field tackle. Cody Farr makes a good hit here to stop the Anchor Bay runner. In the second half, Eisenhower's Chris Bednarski intercepts this pass and takes it to the Anchor Bay 25. While the offense could not score on the turnover, the defense remained tough. Leading 35-7 in the fourth quarter, number 1 Alfonso Voltaggio would give the Eagles a spark on offense. Number 34, Shane Skirby, picks up 7 yards on this play. Then number 13, Richard Mosheri, would bounce off a tackler and score from 20 yards out. Ike breezes into the playoffs for the 11th straight year, defeating Anchor Bay 41-7. Eisenhower would travel to Wisner Stadium in Pontiac to take on the Pontiac Phoenix. The Phoenix were loaded with speed. Pontiac was 7-2 on the year, but Ike was not intimidated. The Eagle defense was designed to take away the speed of Pontiac's offense. The Eagles special team stopped this fake punt, and it's 1st and 10 Eisenhower. Mike Conley goes around the right side and picks up 9 yards. Then Tony Zarafa weaves his way into the end zone for the game's first score. Forced to scramble, Tony Zarafa finds number 84 Youssef Boudijar for a big first down. Ike continued its swarming defense into the second quarter. Even the mighty Ant, number 34 Anthony Adams, could not escape the Eisenhower defense. Number 6, Craig Landrew, makes a great play to break up this pass. Then Jack Sauber tackles the Phoenix punter, and it's 1st and goal Eisenhower. Tony Zarafa follows number 74 Clay Conley into the end zone for another Eagle score. The extra point was good and Ike led it 14-0. Joe Worth strips the football loose, and it's recovered by number 21 Tony Zarafa deep in Pontiac territory. Mike Conley almost scores, going around the left side here. Tony Zarafa takes advantage of this huge hole provided to him by his offensive line and scores his third touchdown of the game. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 21-0. On the ensuing kickoff, Ike kicker Mason Krasinski nails one off the Pontiac player's helmet, and Phil Manolo recovers for Eisenhower. Jack Sauber gets into the scoring act. He takes it in from 12 yards out. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 28-0. Joe Worth corrals the Pontiac quarterback for a big sack, and Ike leads it at halftime 28-6. Eisenhower's defense continued to smother the Pontiac running game. Nick DiTomaso knocks this pass right into the arms of an alert Brad Hankson. Number 35, Chris Bakornicki, comes on the blitz and gets a big sack. Number 15, Brandon Bartnick, scores the game's final touchdown as he gets a couple of key blocks from his mates and propels himself into the end zone. On the kickoff, number 19, Nicky Assad, forces the Pontiac return man wide so Mason Krasinski could make the tackle. Ike wins 35-6. Eisenhower's playoff journey took them to Dakota High School for a rematch with the Cougars. After defeating Dakota in their regular season matchup, the Eagles were confident going into this district championship game. However, Ike knew Dakota would be a different ball club. Eisenhower would get a first down on their first possession, but would be forced to punt. This hit by linebacker Nick DiTomaso causes a fumble, which is recovered by Joe Worth of Eisenhower. The Eagles wasted little time in taking advantage of the turnover. Tony Zarafa would race around the left side and go in for the touchdown. The extra point was good, and Ike led it 7-0. With the score tied at 7, Ike would be forced to punt. They get great coverage from number 79 Kyle Nicholson and number 36 Brian Demir. Eisenhower's defensive line forces the Dakota quarterback to make an ill-advised pass. It's picked off by number 53 Nick DiTomaso. The Eagles go for the quick strike after the turnover, but this pass is just a little too long for Yusuf Budajar to catch up to. Joe Worth makes a big play here, tackling the Dakota quarterback for a loss. Then it's Nick DiTomaso making the play on the other side. The Eagles would fumble the ball deep in their own territory, but Eisenhower's defense turned back the Cougars on a classic goal line stand. Tony Zarafa would get Eisenhower out of the hole with this run. Then Jack Sauer makes an outstanding grab at the Dakota 36. Here's another look at it. It's Jack Sauer again. This time he gets the ball down to the Dakota 21. Tony Zarafa then follows excellent blocking and forges ahead to the Dakota 10. The Eagles, however, would be forced to kick a field goal. Mason Krasinski comes on and nails this 25-yard kick, and Eisenhower led at half 10-7. The Eagles continued the hard hitting into the third quarter. Eisenhower's special teams were solid all year long. However, they could not take advantage of this bad snap. In the fourth quarter, Ike's offense was stalled and they were forced to punt, but they get good punt coverage here on this one. With Dakota leading 14-10, the Eagles' spirit remains strong. Jack Sauer pounds his way through the Dakota defense. Then Tony Zarafa almost breaks this one. Then it's Jack Sauber for another first down. Trailing 21-10, Jack Sauber shows how a safety should tackle. Super sophomore number 84 Yusuf Boudajar made a surprisingly big contribution in 2009. Tony Zarafa gets a first down on this play, but it's a little too late. Eisenhower would drop this playoff game to the Dakota Cougars, thus ending their season. But they learned that it takes courage, heart, and brains to play Eisenhower football.